Okay, guys, so unfortunately, Ericzander is not going to be joining us today on this episode of the Tempcast. He's got some personal life stuff. I don't know. He's got games to finish, trophies to get, and whatever. Thankfully, he did send us a voicemail recording. So I haven't listened to this. I don't know if this is, a message he sent specifically to you guys, to the listeners, or to us personally. So he sent this at like 2 a.m., I think, his time. So yeah, we're just going to play it live and listen to what Ericzander has to say.
Well, yeah, you know what? Never mind.
Oh my god, how do I stop this?
Yeah. Oh no, I was just about to say the same thing.
Oh, I can't stop it.
Honestly, I'm a little confused because I don't understand what that has to do with one thing.
Eric, hang up your phone.
I think I stopped it somehow. Okay, now that's. I hope that was accidental.
Maybe that's just how he thinks about us.
No?
Yeah, I agree with Steven. I don't think that's what he thinks about us. What Ericzander actually gave us was his opinion on Assassin's Creed as a franchise as a whole. Even though he used to like it, now it turned to, well, what you just heard. But
wow,
thankfully, Ubisoft has made some changes in its development cycle. I think that's what we're talking about. So, Jordan, you read up on this. Could you please detail what's going on, like behind the scenes at Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed?
For sure. In April, Ubisoft unified the Montreal and Quebec teams, and that's a direct quote from a Bloomberg report from wonderful video games journalist Jason Schreier. Previously for Assassin's Creed, the Ubisoft Montreal team was behind the development of basically all of the games up until Syndicate. No, up until Unity. And then for Syndicate in 2015 and Odyssey in 2018, Ubisoft Quebec took up development, with Montreal taking Origins and Valhalla in 2017 and 2020 respectively. So there's been a lot of back and forth between the development cycles of these games, going from development team to development team, studio house to studio house. Now Ubisoft said, no more of that. We are putting you under one roof. Both teams are going to be jointly developing Assassin's Creed Infinity. Each team is going to have its own creative lead in charge of their respective teams. And hopefully there's some good collaboration on that. Ubisoft says that this will help them evolve and bring Assassin's Creed to new places, such as a online games as a service type game, much like GTA Online and Fortnite. So that's fun.
That is so much fun. Now, I think what you said about different development teams making the different games, I think Assassin's Creed is one of those franchises that's like, Windows updates. One of them is good, the second one is bad, then the other one is good, and then the second one is bad. I think Origins was meh, but Odyssey was good.
I think that's how it is. I actually haven't played any Assassin's Creed game except for the beginning, 4 hours of the original Assassin's Creed, and then maybe 20 minutes of Black Flag. But from what I understand, Black Flag is the last Assassin's Creed game that people actually still talk about with excitement and thinking that it's a good game. And I get the feeling that the constant switching of development teams and creative visions is part of why the series kind of went downhill there. So hopefully bringing both studios together will create a more unified path going forward. It's a lot like the new Star Wars trilogy, where they don't seem to really have a plan and they're just doing whatever the current guy in charge wants.
Yeah, that did not end well. Now, I know for a fact that Steven is a very big Assassin's Creed fan. Isn't that right, Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah, so would you agree with that notion that Odyssey was better than Origins and that Valhalla was bad? Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Wow.
Is that is that everything you want to add, Steven?
Yeah.
Oh,
you don't want to elaborate on your thoughts, bro?
No.
Okay, then.
Well, let's talk about a little bit about Assassin's Creed Infinity. Is this coming from the developers of Disney Infinity for the Wii U?
No, I don't think so. Funny enough, that'd be fun if you had little Assassin's Creed miniatures that you were forced to buy for content.
Yeah, here's Desmond, and here's the Native American guy.
Here is Edward Kenway in his Captain Morgan exclusive DLC coat.
Nice. Now, it's funny that Ubisoft is concentrating so much on Assassin's Creed instead of, other issues. That's quite apparent at their company, especially there's something about women. I heard they have women in their company. Is that true? I think that seems like a big issue.
They do. I don't think Ubisoft would admit that, but they do have women working for them.
Like, do you know what's going on? Because I care so little about Ubisoft that even with all these scandals, I did not care to look into them. Even though if this was any other company, if this was Valve, if this was Nintendo, I'd be into it. But since this is Ubisoft, I just don't care.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat. I can't think of the last Ubisoft game that I actually enjoyed. So it's like, oh, you've got sexual misconduct scandals just like every other company in the world. Well, okay, that tracks.
They are printing money, though. I mean, they wouldn't be making all these Assassin's Creed games if they weren't selling.
Oh, no, they sell well. It's a classic case of consumers complain constantly and then immediately open their wallets for the next bit of content.
What do you think is better? To have your favorite franchise just die because nobody bought their games? Or is it worse if you see your franchise turn into a money cow?
Oh, God. I know. I've been a fan of a few franchises that have just pattered out and died, and that really sucks. So I think that's got to be better, though, than just watching all the creativity and soul get stripped from something you enjoy, and then it just becomes just a clear cash grab, like GTA 5 did.
Yeah, you are right, especially with that GTA analogy, because GTA was probably one of my favorite game series of all time. Like, I grew up with San Andreas and Vice City, but now it's been like, 25 years since GTA 5 came out. Rockstar are just saying, okay, well, maybe we'll start development in 2030 or something. Yeah, maybe. We don't give a shit.
I remember when GTA used to be like the benchmark for quality gaming. Like, if you wanted good action, open world, just pure unadulterated fun in a game, GTA was the go-to. And I'm not saying it's not the go-to anymore, but they used to spend years developing those games, like you mentioned, and then now they just don't care because GTA Online prints money.
You are absolutely right about that. Like, especially the fact that GTA was one of those games that everybody knew about.
Yeah.
Like, you can have any guests at home. If you pop in GTA, they'll be playing. Nowadays, I don't think there's any other franchise other than maybe Mario that has this kind of cultural appeal, like, to people even who don't know Grand Theft Auto. Come on, like, my dad knows what Grand Theft Auto is.
No, right. And I'm trying to rack my brain right now to see if I can think of any other franchise that kind of hits that heights, and I really can't. I gotta think that Halo maybe comes close, just because that was such a massive franchise for so long, even though it's kind of died down now. It's certainly not dead, with Infinite still being worked on, and Master Chief Collection still going strong, but it certainly isn't the cultural cornerstone it was when Halo 2 and 3 were being released. Yeah, I don't think anything besides GTA or Mario comes to mind for, even people who don't play games or don't know these franchises off the top of their head would recognize them just like that.
Yeah, and the thing about Halos and stuff, that's like purely a North America thing. Nobody
really?
In Europe, well, at least in Eastern Europe, where I grew up in, Maybe Halo 1 and 2 were popular when they came out, but after they went like console exclusives, nobody cared about Halo here. It wasn't like a cultural thing at all. Zero relevancy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense, I suppose, that with 360 being primarily a North American selling system.
Steven, did you like Grand Theft Auto when it was a franchise?
Totally.
Is that everything you want to add?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steven, are you okay? Like last week you were barely talkative at all. This week it's one word answers again. Like we're just kind of concerned, bud.
Yeah, Steven, is everything all right?
Is something wrong? Really? You're really that unself-aware? Yeah, you had me and Jordan on the podcast last week, and when Bloober Team came up, you didn't even let me and Jordan voice our opinions on their games, so we could let people know what to expect from them working with Konami. You know, we could have had some real conversation, something original, but oh no, even though the show was like 2 fucking hours too long every fucking week, I guess there's no time for that. I guess we had to make room for reading out press releases and the fucking Austin Powers impressions. Oh my God. And you know, I would have been willing to let it go, but if you don't even fucking know what you did wrong, just, you know, you fuck your shitty podcast that nobody listens to. Jordan, if you want to stay here and put up with this bullshit, fucking feel free, but I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh my God. Steven just stormed out of the studio, and I don't
cringe. Like I don't know. It kind of sucked to get ignored last week, but I'm still here. I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he's so upset. If we reviewed the games, surely our opinions were voiced.
Yeah, Steven definitely had a lot of rage building up inside of him. Just like Nintendo fans after the Switch OLED announcement. Jesus. I have never seen people so angry on Twitter before from the announcement of a product. Honestly, why are people so angry? To be fair, yes, they have a reason to, and this is weird because any other occasion I would say, "Oh, whoa, guys, chill. Nobody's forcing you to buy this." But I actually completely understand Nintendo fans. I was looking into buying a Switch. I was looking into buying this one, but now I'm not. Sorry. So many things went wrong with this announcement. Now, first of all, a little bit of context. We have been talking on this podcast about a new Nintendo Switch since like the very beginning, since episode 2 or maybe 3. We've been referencing all these leaks, which did contain like hints about an OLED screen, which I doubted, wrongfully so, because it came true. But we discussed a lot of other things like a better Tegra processor, DLSS, and it seems that none of this is coming to the Switch OLED. Let's just start with the name. What kind of name is that? Switch OLED.
It's an afterthought. It's literally just Nintendo Switch parentheses OLED model. Like,
yeah,
what the hell?
So am I supposed to call the old Switch just the Nintendo Switch LCD model?
I guess so. I think that's just the Nintendo Switch now. It'd be like calling the Advance SP just Game Boy Advanced folding model, hinge model, whatever.
Yo, what did the SP even stand for?
I think special, but I don't know.
Call it the Nintendo Switch SP. That would have been dope.
There we go.
Yeah. But at least they didn't call it like the new Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch Pro, because that would confuse people even more, because from what it seems, this is purely a screen upgrade. Now, the screen has been increased in size, not just technology. Increased to 7 inches, I think, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
7 is way better than 6, really.
Definitely. OLED's better than LCD, obviously. So, like, by all accounts, this is technically an upgrade, but none of the other hardware looks like it's being upgraded. Even the frickin' Joy-Cons are still the same shitty Joy-Cons we're used to, just with a fancy new shell.
Like, two things. First of all, I love the colors. Honestly, this is
same. It's a gorgeous looking system that could have been so much better.
Yeah, the colors. It reminds me like a stormtrooper, and I love like black and white. That's okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'll give them that. That's cool. But like, it also has a better. What's it called? Fuck you and your cookies. God damn it. Not the dock, but the thing that lets it stand. The stand. Yeah, the stand. It's improved because like the one that was on the original Switch, that was a fucking parody. In no way would the Switch like just stand like that, because that thing was just connected through a couple of magnets and it was not like sturdy at all. But this seems a lot better, and it's got a 720p OLED panel, which I think whoever's making these panels was very confused when they got the order to make a 7-inch 720p OLED panel. They were like, do we even have the technology to make that kind of PPI on a 7-inch screen? I'm trying to think, when was the first time phones got 720p screens? I think it was 2011. Yes.
That sounds right.
My first Android phone, the Galaxy Nexus, had an OLED 720p screen. That came out 10 years ago. Since then, we have 120 hertz OLED panels at 4K resolutions, or at least 2K, 1440p. Yep. But Nintendo's like, nah, we got this. 720p.
Yeah, it is weird to me that they wouldn't take the opportunity to at least upgrade the handheld mode to 1080 just to make it match at least. I was at first glance a little excited, like, oh, cool, 60 FPS gaming. And then I remembered that there are games on the current model Switches that can get to 60 FPS. So it's probably going to be the exact same thing for this one, where the games you actually want at 60 aren't going to get there.
Nope. Well, they wouldn't get there anyways, because from everything we've seen so far, this has the same SoC.
Yep.
The same Tegra X1 processor, which, here's the thing. I'm thinking, and I might be completely wrong, we'll just have to wait and see when this thing comes out. I think it does have an upgraded CPU.
You think so?
But not in the sense that the architecture is better. It's just like, you remember when we got the Marico chips?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be probably a little bit more efficient and a little bit better suited for overclocking.
Okay.
So
that'll be nice.
It would be. I don't think it's going to be like a jump between the old 3DS and the new 3DS. So I don't think we're going to like see games perform better, which is a shame, because like, despite what people might say, some people don't want to pay $350 for a system that plays games at like 720p at 30 FPS, even sometimes way lower than that. Because at $300, I think you can get an Xbox Series S.
Series S, I believe, is... Actually, let me look that up. Look that up so I don't look like an asshole.
I think it's 300. Because the digital PlayStation 5 is 400, and both the Series X and PS5 disc drives, they're 500 each.
Yeah, you're right. Assuming you can actually find a Series S in stock, which I think you can, because those Xbox consoles are not nearly as difficult to find as the PS5. But yeah, you can get a Series S for the same price of a Nintendo Switch. You'll obviously lose the portability, but you'll get a much, much better gaming experience. Yeah,
but it doesn't have yippee yahoo Mario. It doesn't have the the Zelda.
It does not, but it does have Game Pass, which is the best deal in gaming right now. So I think you won't be at loss for things to play. It's interesting that you bring up the price point, because when I got my Switch. I have an older model. It's not a release model, but it's before they put out the new ones with the better battery life. And even then, I thought, like, you know, I'm excited to get this, but $300 seems a little high. And seeing the price for the OLED model, it's like, okay, $350. No, I would not pay that even if I didn't have a Switch. So it's kind of weird.
So this is $100 more than the standard Switch.
In North America, it's $50 more than the standard Switch. So, like, if you're already okay paying those prices for a Switch, like, yeah, it's a good price point to just get the OLED model. But, like, if you already have a Switch, that's too much money to just spend on an upgrade, or if you want a second Switch, or, yeah.
Here's the thing. This would have been completely fine by me and by everyone else if this was released just as a replacement at the same price at $300.
Oh, I agree. I'd still think it was a little overpriced because I don't think the Switch is necessarily worth $300, but I would complain less. I would not think this is actively a bad product. I just want to remember, what was the MSRP for the PS Vita? Because that was one of the first handheld consoles. Okay, $250. Okay, the PS Vita. All right, now wait. You might say, "Oh, inflation." Okay, let's get an inflation calculator. Okay, where is the? How do I use this? Okay, so the PS Vita came out in 2012 in the US. So 250.
No. Oh, hold on. Okay, can we go back to the last top? Just
damn it! Shut up.
Where the fuck did Steven come back?
I don't know what happened there. Definitely nothing to do with my numpad. Okay, so February 2012. In May, that's roughly $300. Okay, that's a little bit more than I expected from inflation, but $250 in 2012 is roughly $300 in today's money.
Yeah.
And the Nintendo Switch with a 720p 7-inch screen is $350, while the Switch Lite is $250.
$200, I believe. Yeah. Oh, $250. Okay.
No, wait, I don't know.
Well, let's look it up so I don't look like an asshole.
Yeah, it's $200 MSRP.
Okay.
Nintendo, you can definitely sell this at $300. Don't fool us. You're fooling us. They're not cutting corners here.
Here's the thing. They can sell it at $300, but Nintendo learned a long time ago that they can charge whatever the fuck they want. We'll buy it anyway.
Right now, yes. But like in 2014 and 2015, hell no. Even to 2016, no way. Who was buying the Wii U?
Good point. But in 2020, 2021... Nintendo doesn't have to care about appropriately pricing their things. We're going to buy it anyway. I spent $60 on 3 Mario ROMs, for God's sakes. Like, yeah, they can charge whatever the fuck they want.
The thing is, these rumors, especially about DLSS and a new Nintendo Switch Pro, they didn't come out of like nothing. There were multiple insiders confirming that like a new Switch is coming, and even Jason Schreier from Bloomberg talked about this. What do you think is going on? I think Nintendo might have canned the Switch Pro and just released this instead. I think that might have been what happened.
I think the Switch Pro is still coming. I think we might see more about it next year. I think maybe the pandemic pushed their plans back a little bit. But yeah. Whoa.
Hello, everyone. Hi, how's the podcast going?
What the, Eric? We heard your voicemail. Like,
you heard my voicemail?
Yeah, that you sent to Alan John.
Oh, that thing. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about whatever Alan John played. Bye. I am recording. Okay, bye.
Okay, Ericzander just came into the studio after what he sent, thinking that we would accept him. No, He's gonna have some explaining to do in the back room, because okay, coming back to the Switch. Yeah, I think there was something planned, but I think they decided not to do like a midlife console upgrade that would just divide, the developments of games and the user base. So I think we're not gonna see that. I think what we're gonna see is gonna be a docked Switch with DLSS. That has to be coming because we have the Switch Lite. That's the Switch only handheld. We have 2 Switches now that actually switch, which is enough. And we're gonna get a standard, just a box like a PS Vita thing that you connect to your TV, and it's got 4K upscaling and whatnot, and probably better performance. I hope so. Oh, Ericzander was recording. Okay. Okay. But yeah.
Yes. I think we're definitely going to see that upgraded Switch eventually. If I had to put a prediction on it, I would say they'll announce it next year, and earliest we'd actually see something hitting store shelves would be like late 2023.
Wait, are you talking about like a new Switch or a docked Switch?
A docked Switch.
Oh, that's definitely coming out next year. I don't see it not coming out. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, definitely holiday. Maybe even this holiday. No, they don't have time.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'd be hearing about it now if they wanted it for a holiday release. But you think a docked Switch next year for sure? Definitely
gonna come. I think they have a surplus of these chips because otherwise, I don't know. Seems like
so they have the resources, but here's the thing. Do they want to do it so close? Do they want to release a docked Switch so close to the OLED model and split their sales like that? I wonder. I guess it just depends on if the OLED actually sells or if people actually hold Nintendo accountable and don't buy rushed out products for once.
Come on. Who are you kidding? Come on. Of course they're going to buy it.
I don't know. I would buy a docked Switch. If this were a docked Switch, with better hardware inside of it, I would buy it. But I'm certainly not going to buy a frickin' OLED screen.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Even though I've been mostly handheld gaming this past couple of weeks. I've been hyping up myself for Metroid Dread, which, by the way, this was the first game they showed in the trailer for the OLED Switch, which is coming out the same day as Metroid Dread. It's coming out on October 8th. That's pretty cool to see like a Metroid game headlining a console release. Not gonna lie, that's actually pretty cool.
I definitely agree. I think a lot of people would be happier if it was Metroid Prime 4 headlining that release, but
I don't.
Just kind of got to take what you got right now.
I don't care about Metroid Prime. I care about the 2D Metroids. It's been 19 years.
That's fair.
I've been playing Samus Returns on the 3DS, which is by the same studio that's making Metroid Dread.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta say, this game is so held back by the 3DS in terms of everything, in terms of controls and in terms of the hardware and the physical controls themselves. I hate the circle pad. The 3DS circle pad. It is so uncomfortable. I hated Ocarina of Time because of that shitty, stupid circle pad. It gave me like a carpal tunnel right on my thumb. It's so bad. How do people use this? Maybe my unit is broken or something because it's so hard sometimes to move it and it's slippery. You can't get a grip at all. I hate it.
The only time I actively use the circle pad other than being forced to is in Pokemon games when I'd be wanting to hatch eggs. You can just like jam a coin underneath and it'll just move in a circle. So I could just do that, set the 3DS aside for like an hour or two, and boom, I'd have a hatched egg without having to actually do anything about it. But other than that, no, I avoid the circle pad whenever possible too. I didn't buy Majora's Mask because Ocarina of Time just was so uncomfortable to play with the circle pad.
Yeah. Do you have like a standard sized 3DS?
I have just the special edition that came with Ocarina of Time, actually. So it's got all the Zelda graphics on it. But yeah, it's just otherwise the standard 3DS.
Yeah, because I'm thinking maybe this isn't like an issue if you have like a big one, like an XL, but I don't know. I'm just
Right.
playing this game and I'm thinking, oh, this would be so much better on an emulator playing with my DualShock.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Hopefully Metroid Dread would, be better, since from what it looks like, I've never held a Switch in my life, but that joystick looks a lot better than the circle pad, even though it does drift occasionally.
I was going to say, when it's not drifting, it's great. It's fine. I won't call it great, I guess. The Joy-Cons are definitely not incredible controllers, but I don't mind them.
Did you know that the Joy-Con issue, it's an issue not just with the Joy-Cons? The drifting is present in like all the controllers, like all of them, in Xbox controllers and the DualShock, not the DualSense ones, because there's like only one manufacturer that does that part.
Yeah, I'd read on that when I have two sets of Joy-Cons and they both started drifting at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
and like disassembling those things, you can see it's bound to happen. Like people who are saying, oh no, it's just a couple of units. No, it's going to happen to every single one because it's just two graphite pads that are like the pencil lead on a pencil. They wear out. Who invented this? It's so stupid.
All those people buying brand new Switch OLEDs, your Joy-Cons are going to drift in like 2 years. Have fun with that.
Yeah, thankfully, like I completely switched my my stance on this with Nintendo, because Nintendo Joy-Cons, you can change that part easily. Yeah. But on a DualSense controller, it's like soldered in. You need like to get out a heat gun to change out that part. So just so you know. Yeah.
Ow.
Well, you know what? I don't want to pay for stuff. I'm so done with that. You know what, Jordan? I want to get something for free. Do you know where I could, like, I don't know, join some kind of competition or raffle that I can join where I could get something that I don't know yet?
I do, funny enough. You can you could enter the GBAtemp giveaway raffle, where secret and special prizes are up for grabs and able to be won by any registered user on GBAtemp. All you have to do is register, and then you are eligible to potentially win some neat stuff. That's
great. So do I need to be registered before a certain period of time?
Probably. Rules are coming soon, but I would imagine you might want to be registered on the site before the actual content of the raffle is announced, just in case.
Also, fun fact, I know what they're giving away, but I'm not going to tell you.
So do I. I've known for a while.
So yeah, be sure to check out GBAtemp.net. Take part in the raffle. Because if you don't take part in the raffle, you know what? Somebody with like 0 posts who made an account in 2008 might win the main prize.
Yeah, and you don't want that.
There's nothing we can do. We're just gonna have to send it to them.
And hey, I mean, while you're there and registered for the raffle, maybe stick around, check out the community. It's pretty nice, pretty cool. A lot of neat people here.
We got so many reviews. We just got a review by Kiwi for Sniper Elite VR. We got a review by Prans, the Fly Digi Wii 2T. I don't know what that is, but check out the review for the Fly Digi Wii 2T. It's pretty cool. I love it. I'm definitely buying it. And the Soundpeats T2 sound amazing. They're the best sounding earphones I've ever listened to in my entire life. Better than Raycons.
Whoa.
Check out the Halo RS3 smartwatch, dude. Fuck Apple.
Oh, I'm wearing that right now.
That's so cool. You can see your blood pressure, I think.
You can measure your blood oxygen level. Check out the Everest Max keyboard and the video review accompanying it.
Definitely. That video review is done by an expert in mechanical keyboards. He talks about the switches and stuff. So if you're into that, check that out.
Dude, he presses the switches into his mic. You get some like ASMR shit in there. It's awesome.
Yeah, for more ASMR shit, please visit GBAtemp.net. Thank you guys so much for listening, and good night. Guys, we were just done recording now. Ericzander is back in the building with urgent news because it turns out he called us in the middle of the podcast, and it turns out for a good reason. He just found out about this really, really disturbing news from Japan. Apparently, Nintendo is hiring ninjas to murder people who play Breath of the Wild. Did I get that right? Is that what's going on, Eric?
Essentially, that's essentially what's happening. I apologize to the audience for Alan John and by extension Jordan's rude behavior of kicking me out when I was trying to inform them of this terrible situation. Essentially, they're not necessarily murdering the people so much as they are sending people to jail for doing quote unquote bad stuff. But unlike the other bad stuff that we've talked about on the podcast, this is really just a goofy situation. Essentially, this guy, this 27-year-old Japanese man from Japan, he got arrested because he was selling modified save files for Breath of the Wild, and they're like, nope, can't be doing that. Throw him in the clink. And that's essentially what's going on.
Yeah, this is very disturbing news. This isn't the first time Nintendo is just grabbing people and putting them in jail for editing saves. I think the same thing happened with a Pokemon hacker who did basically the same thing, only with Pokemon. But I mean, in that case, you could understand it because Pokemon has a little bit of like a multiplayer aspect to it. So there's some competitiveness. If you get like better Pokemons, and then you might have a competitive edge. However, here, Breath of the Wild, from what I understand, is a purely single-player experience. It doesn't have co-op. It doesn't have competitive multiplayer. So what's going on here? Why does Nintendo care if I buy a copy of Breath of the Wild and then pay somebody to edit that save because I can't do that myself? It doesn't make sense. I'm not harming anyone. I'm not harming their IP. I'm not stealing their intellectual property. This is very, very effed up. I said it.
You're right. And I'm with you here, but I want to play a little quiz with you. How much? So that guy, that 23-year-old dude who was selling the shiny Pokemon, how much do you think he made before he was arrested?
I want to say at least $100,000.
$100,000. Oh my god! Don't you hate when you ask somebody to guess a number and they guess way too high?
Okay, did I guess too much?
Yeah. Okay. The answer is 10,000, which is
What?
a lot, but now it looks stupid.
Okay, but this one
compared to your number.
This one, okay, made way more. He made around 65,000 pounds sterling. I don't know why that's in pounds sterling on an article from Eurogamer because.
I have it because I what I'm looking at, they use real money. They use the US dollar, about $91,000.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, he made a lot of money. He made more than I make by a lot.
Yeah, but now he's going to jail. Do we know for how much? For how long?
No, I don't think we know for how much because he's still. Well, yeah, if you remember, this is happening in Japan, and they go by ace attorney logic in their court system. So he's probably screwed.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Japan has one of the highest conviction rates in the first world.
It's like 99% almost, something like that.
Yeah, so that's why Ace Attorney games are basically a fantasy, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that and the fact that you get to cross-examine pigeons and stuff, or parrots and whatnot.
Yeah, so this is very worrying. I don't understand why Nintendo really cares about Breath of the Wild saves. It's very baffling, very baffling. We're gonna send Mr. Bowser a message from GBAtemp officially. Probably, I think we can do that, right?
Can we? You mean send him like a letter in jail?
No, not that Bowser. No.
Not Gary Bowser. You're talking about
the
Big
CEO
Boss Bowser
of Nintendo of America. We can ask him a question like, what's going on? Can we do that if I hack my Switch? Not even my Switch, just a save file for a game. Am I going to go to jail?
Well, we don't have the Unfair Competition Prevention Act like they have in
There's no competition.
Japan.
It's a single player game. Who competes in Breath of the Wild?
The problem is that he was making money off of it. First of all, here, let me rephrase this. I'm with you. I don't think that this dude should be arrested for this, but they're saying, oh, he's profiting off of our IP. That's bad. Go to jail. I'm thinking, dude, just sue him civilly. Again, it's like they keep pursuing these criminal cases against these guys, and it's troublesome to me. So I'm a defense attorney, and the other day, I deal with people who do real bad things, who commit violent acts against people, and they get sentenced to like community service and pay like a fine and something like that. Sometimes they're not even convictions. Yet this guy who's just selling, he's just probably some nerd sitting in, well, I guess not his mom's basement because he makes quite a lot of money. But he's just, that's what he does, is he just edits save files, sells them. Oh, ooh, what a monster. You might as well be selling crack cocaine or something like that, It's, people can justify it, and it's like, well, he broke the law. But you know what? Who hasn't broken a law? You know what I mean? It's just, it seems fucking wild to me, man. I don't know who the victim is. I don't know, it's just dumb.
So would you say,
dumb situation,
as legal advice, would you say it's safer to sell drugs than edited save files? Is that what you're saying, Eric? Is this your legal advice?
My legal advice is if you're in Japan, you probably shouldn't do either.
Okay.
I mean, selling illegal games, that's one thing. Like if it, the guy who, the Cool ROMs guy, that was in America, but yeah, like that's one thing. And you shouldn't be doing that. I think everybody knows that, but this is like, who cares how somebody experiences a single player game? Because so what he was doing is he was making the quote unquote ultimate save game. Basically, he's just like, oh, hey, I get to play Breath of the Wild with unlimited weapons or unlimited durability or unlimited this, unlimited that. It's like, dude, people do that, they mod that on PC games all the time, It's like, oh, hey, here's how I get unlimited cash in Grand Theft Auto 5, Or it's like even earlier than that, it's like there used to be just cheat codes that give you unlimited stuff. So basically all this dude is doing is throwing cheat codes in here on this single player experience. And they're like, no, you're going to jail for that shit. So they took it too far.
Yeah, this is just sad. I'm not visiting Japan. I'm sorry. My plans to visit Japan this summer, not happening. I'm not risking it. Wait, what if they find my 3DS? What if they see that Luma is on it?
You got Luma on your 3DS? Did you seriously just admit that on the podcast, bro?
Oh, I use it only for homebrew. Oh, wait, wait, I'm sorry. I didn't even hack this 3DS. I bought it hacked. And I didn't even know it was hacked, to be honest. So.
Okay, so the person who sold it to you, he's selling hacked stuff. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that's why I can't sell you my PS Vita. I'm sorry, man. I can't. I'm not going down for you, man.
All right, that's it. Get out of the studio. That's it. This is over. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.